Now, today on the Business Spotlight, I've got Duncan from Savanah Finance. Welcome, Duncan. Thank you for joining me.
Hi, Brenda. Thanks for having me.
No, really good to have you here. Just to start out, can you just introduce yourself and Savanah Finance for us?
Okay, yeah. My name's Duncan Sim. I'm a qualified chartered accountant for the past 12, 13 years. I started my career in practice working for a accounts audit firm in Aberdeen. Subsequently, I moved as you do into the oil industry, where I was working group and Ethos Energy. And after 7 years there, I moved to London and I was working in the kind of private equity IT technology space. I worked there for 4 years. And yeah, just at that time, I kind of got a bit bored of the daily grind, the month end, and that was kind of never ending seemingly. And so just decided to, I always kind of wanted to start my own business. So I had a bit of an idea at that point. Took me a while, but finally had an idea that I thought actually this could be a decent chance for me to actually run my own business and do things my own way and just give things a bit of a try. So that's kind of when I started Savanah Outsourced Finance. And what basically we do is we work with companies in the UK, but we assist them with recruiting staff in South Africa. So there's quite a shortage of staff, particularly in finance, I think in the UK, whereas there's quite a large talent pool in South Africa. And particularly after COVID, where companies felt more comfortable recruiting or having their staff working remotely. My thinking was, well, if someone is happy to have their staff working remotely in the UK, why not somewhere else in the world? And I appreciate, and this is not a new idea, we're not the first company to do this. Companies have outsourced traditionally to India, the Philippines, places like that, but the company I worked for previously, they did have an outsourced IT function in South Africa. So I knew people there, I knew the quality. It's more, I feel, culturally aligned to the UK, and also the time difference is not as great as the further east you go. So yeah, so we've been kind of going for just over a year now. We've got, I think, 14 staff in South Africa. And we've kind of got kind of two business models. One is a kind of recruitment type model where basically companies come to us and say, we're looking to hire, it could be a finance manager or accounts payable assistant or whatever the role is. We'll help them find that person and support them through the interview process. And essentially we then employ the person on behalf of the UK company, our client, but the person works for our client essentially, and we just recharge the costs. And we've got all the setup in South Africa. We've got our office there. We've got legal entity bank account. So we deal with all the in-country compliance, so our client doesn't have to. So that's one model. The second model is, we do have a kind of, I would say, internally managed bookkeeping team as well, where it's slightly different, whereas the recruitment model is just people-based. This is more task-based. So clients come to us and say, we want you to do our monthly management accounts, we want you to do our quarterly VAT returns, we want you to process our monthly bank payments, reconcile our bank, post our supplier payments. So we do all the bookkeeping, just like a normal UK bookkeeping firm does, but it's done by our team in South Africa as well. So
Okay. Wow, yeah, but quite a different, well, like you said, not a model that's new to us, but I guess it's quite different in your industry.
yeah, I think it works quite well in finance, because I think in like more creative sectors, like marketing and that, being in an office with people to bounce off creative ideas, can understand why people are more resistant to remote working. Whereas finance, it's more black and white. Post this invoice, pay, make the payment, book this accrual. It doesn't matter. You don't need to be in an office sitting next to someone to do that. It works fine. And as I say, we got quite lucky with the timing with COVID, where people previously might have been skeptical, whereas now they're like, well, we've seen it happening, and why not? And
yeah, we're all much more accepting of this, this online meeting and virtual discussions and everything. Yeah,
and I think as well, like, our clients, what they say to us is that we struggle to recruit. Most of our clients are in London, and the people I know there, and they're saying that it's really difficult to find good people in the UK, and the people we do find, their salary expectations so high, and so we feel like we're a kind of a lower cost, but same level of quality, hopefully, alternative. And it's been working well so far. The people we've recruited all seem to be enjoying it. Our clients seem to be happy. So hopefully it continues.
Brilliant. So you're 1 year in. What have been the biggest learnings that you've had over that year then?
Yeah, quite a lot. I think
curve, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, because I think what I wanted to do as well. I think previously when I was working, I always had like someone senior to me. So if I had a problem or I didn't know something, I'd had somebody to ask. Whereas when you become you become the main person, then you have to make the final decision. There's nobody above you to do that. So that's certainly been a learning curve. I think, as most businesses probably agree, cash flow management as well is something that you can't take lightly, and that's always on my mind. And it's been a bit like a roller coaster, I would say. Like, there's been like massive ups and then massive downs, and I think probably just just try and take it, like, don't get too excited at the good moments, and don't get too down when things don't go to plan. But I think that's probably the main things so far.
So one of the questions that I ask a lot of the interviewees is about the employment situation here, in the UK. So what do you say to people that are struggling in any sector, not just in the finance sector?
Well, recruit in South Africa. You give me a call, but I guess it's a slightly different question for us, because the people we're recruiting are in South Africa. But I think that has been a big learning curve as well, in terms of how we identify staff, how we interview them, how we select people. I think I've certainly learned a lot to refining that process to help identify the right person, because there is a big cost and a big time burden of recruiting the wrong staff. So I think it's, particularly in the UK, if you are recruiting in the UK where there is limited staff available, it is thoroughly researching the people and interviewing them in detail. And it is tricky. I appreciate it, because people on an interview always present the best version of themselves, so it's difficult to do that. But trying to get that right and identify the right person from the outset is probably something I've certainly learned as well.
And what do you do if you inadvertently take on the wrong person, that they're not a fit within your organization?
We have had occasions like that, and what the first go-to is, can we train them up? What's the problem? Why are they not getting it? Is that because I always think, a previous boss of me once told me, it's quite good advice. Nobody really wants to do a bad job. No matter who they are, everyone wants to be doing a good job. So if they're not doing a good job, why is that? Is it because they haven't had proper training? Is it because the process isn't as good as it can be? or is it someone else? So I'd probably say, look at the training. Have they been trained properly? Can we give them better training? Can we help them better, explain it slightly differently, possibly? And then also, is there a way to simplify the process to make their life easier? To try and probably go with that. And then if it's still not working out after that, then I think just having honest conversations with people and say, look, this is the problem. We're trying to resolve it, but you still don't seem to be getting it. And what we find is that people are not stupid. They know if they're not being able to do it, and generally they're not. People won't be happy either if they're struggling with their job as much as you can try. Sometimes it's just mutual. Okay, it's not working out. I don't think this is maybe the right job for you. And what we find is that they tend to agree, and we've kind of just mutually went our own ways and kind of still left as friends. But
yeah, okay, those good tips there. Good tips. So who's been your biggest support in your year or so in business on your journey?
So I think the most difficult thing for me was probably sales, because I'm from a finance background, just never done it before, and I'm probably the personality. I don't like talking myself up or talking our business up. So I think sales is probably the most difficult thing for me. So how we've kind of won clients is through referrals. So probably someone that I used to work with previously, before I even started, I kind of run my idea through him, and I respect his opinion. A very smart guy, and he said it was a good idea, and then he came to me saying, look, our company could use you, and he also introduced me to another person who became a client as well. So I would say that really got the ball rolling, because I think what we do is obviously slightly different. So it was kind of, if we could get these first kind of couple clients signed up and get case studies in, it makes it a hell of a lot easier to go to people that I don't know and sell it, and to say, look, this is what we're doing. We have done it. It has worked successfully. Here are some case studies. Here are some references. So I think that person, I won't name him, but he was a really big impact on things starting and becoming successful.
So was he a mentor then, to an extent, or just a connector?
Yeah, connector. He's just my mate, really. Yeah, just a friend that I work with. He's in finance, but I certainly respect his opinion, and I think he would be honest as well if he said that it's not a good idea. It's never going to work. If he said that, then I might have shied away from actually trying it. But yeah, he.
Would that be your advice then to someone that's coming along? They've had an idea and they're thinking of starting something. Would you advise them to go their current contacts and look at who they respect in the area and ask for some feedback?
I think you need to be careful, because if you go to people and say, this is my idea, people are genuinely nice. They're good. Most people say, oh, that's a good idea, but it's kind of, it's not reality. That's not, you're probably better to try and speak to like neutral people you don't know, to say, like, this is what we're doing. Would you be interested in trying to get a more realistic view of it? Because if you go to your colleagues, your friends, and that, or your family, they're gonna say, yeah, that's a great idea. So it's trying to maybe speak to people that are not people and get a realist, kind of more real world,
Impartial.
Impartial. Yeah, that's the word. Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that's very good advice. I like that. So, what do you think are the biggest opportunities for your industry? What's it going to look like in 5 years' time?
I think in finance, more and more things are becoming automated. So, it's probably there's probably going to be less lower level jobs. People churning through processing invoices. So I think it's going to be a move away from that, and a move to automation. So I think certainly companies that assist with automation, setting things up for companies to allow them to use that, and AI, that's going to be the way things are going to go. But I think you're always going to need people, as well. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I think hopefully if the kind of automation AI kind of replaces all the kind of the churn work, and that kind of frees up humans to do the thinking, but that's probably, I believe, where things are going to go.
What do you hope for Savanah Finance then in 5 years' time? Where are you going? What are the goals?
I think certainly we need to embrace the automation and use it to our advantage, not trying to fight against it. I think our goals are. I always try and think about what kind of like KPIs and what targets to set, and I try not to do financial ones because I don't think that's the real truth of it, or the best way to look at it. I think client retention is important, and I want staff to kind of enjoy their job. I mean, if I look back at my career, I always look back probably my first job the most and smile and think that was the best time, probably because I had the least responsibility. So I think making sure staff enjoy their job, and that the KPI there is like staff retention, and also it's good to see, because some of our staff, they've came in as interns, or they've maybe got 1 or 2 years experience, and it's really good to see that them getting improving their knowledge. We're very lucky that we've got a very, very good and experienced finance manager in Cape Town, and she does a very good job training the guys up, and it's really good to see them progressing, and now they're talking about doing some like other like extra finance qualifications, CMA, things like that. So yeah, I think that makes me as happy as anything to see people progress, because I was lucky in my career that I worked for some really smart people that really helped me learn and get experience, and hopefully become what I'd like to think is a decent a finance person. So so I'd like to kind of obviously we want to make money, we want to win new clients, but if we can do it in a way that our staff enjoys it and upskills, and also our clients are happy and we're giving good service, then that's as rewarding as kind of financials as well.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. Really, worthwhile goals, shall we say? So yeah, and these are the things. This is what you can do in business rather than just in a job, isn't it? The potential of impacting many more people. So yeah, I love it. I'm out of time, Duncan. I've really enjoyed talking to you.
Quick.
It's been really good. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay. Well, thanks for having me, and yeah, all the best.